Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Douglas Attila Jamali, and I am the infamous Doctor Who, as well as the public spokesperson for MIB, the President of the United States of America, and as public spokesperson of MIB, I am retired and can be reinstated at any time as High Command of MIB. This is a brief history of the last 10 years here in San Francisco and my adventures here as a space-time navigator. The Grandmaster space-time navigators go. I kind of find that hard to believe. So let's start with, I'm going off the grid into MIB. This I posted on my Facebook account 10 years ago, approximately, in which my friends thought he's lost his fucking mind. So, for all of you, I don't want to keep you too bored with what's going on, but the present situation is I'm the President of the United States of America by its laws and Constitution, and soon to be recognized as such. I am already the world president by unanimous vote of all the sentients outside of the human race, all of Mother Nature, as well as outside of Earth. I am the United Federated Galaxies and Planets President. This has all arisen since the day I went into MIB when I said on my Facebook account, I'm going off the grid. Okay, so that starts up at Washington Street, up on the top of the hill, in which there I started to be able to hear the Grandmasters. And they started to train me in Kung Fu. It is here where Britney Spears found me at some point of all of this, in my backyard, with my three-quarter staff. Actually, it was a half staff. Practicing my Kung Fu with the staff. And it's from there a relationship started, but got interrupted by the time loop. Now, from there, as practicing on, I discovered that in the egress of my apartment building up there were two spinning singularities that were collapsing into each other underneath my house in the egress there in the corner of 1265 Washington. And it is in there that I made some friends. The black nanite universe that was being drawn down in the 22 million G black nanite, centrifugal that is, black nanite universe made first contact with me and asked me there to give them water. And in that corner, with my hose there, I started to spray into the egress water they needed, and they started to pour out by the hundreds of trillions and gazillions out of the egress into my backyard, naming and declaring me their protector and savior. It is there with which I made first contact with the dual spinning singularities in the egress. And with their assistance and the use there of the black nanites, was able to fly our planet, and with my efforts there of pushing with all my might those two spinning singularities against one wall and against the other, with all my might to push them apart so they started to spin away from each other, as opposed to spin down into each other and form a dual singularity. From one singularity to two. Two singularities into one. So, with that, and pushing all of my light, those two singularities still sit in Washington and are now have a escape velocity from each other, and they're collapsed there into a single singularity. With their help and the nanites' help, then, I was able to fly the Earth out from that collapse there of the universe into the heavens again with the help there of both the singularities and black nanites and their ability to paint on the walls of the egress and the darkness thereof the vision of line, a screen there to fly our planet out from that point, taking with me the singularities out of a universe collapse. They still are there, and they're friends of mine, and they sit there underneath the egress, underneath 1265 Washington Street, and will echo into the future of some 20 million millennia from that point on to here of space-time. Meaning, from the time I started to push those two spinning singularities apart to the present is 20 billion years. Okay. So on the way out of there, some point in there, they opened up where the split in the universe and ended up with dual, right, matter in the incursion of time, in which replicated matter becomes duplicated matter. And I was then able, with my hose there, to spray water through a portal twice into the duplication of Gaia some 2 billion years ago, where I added water to Earth with my hose spinning there next to the singularities, pouring water through a portal to make it so that life 2 billion years ago here on dual planets of Earth had water. We bore witness. Do you understand? Without me, there's no water on Earth. Okay. So from there, that hit you like a ton of bricks, didn't it? Okay, so my adventures there, again, go all the way to here in San Francisco, which I have never left, okay, in some level, traversing the heavens in San Francisco as the island of San Francisco, torn from the planet by a near-light speed collision, allowing me then to rip our world out from underneath Armageddon with the use of near-light speed collisions in here in San Francisco to rip us out from underneath that there nuclear holocaust in the Armageddon. It is there in the backyard in which a vast number of beings came to observe me as I was sitting there and just over the egress on my deck there, with a candle there and my deck of Thoth, the deck of Thoth Terra. It is there where I was doing some amazing spreads in which there, I'm dealing with the clairvoyant world and all of this, that they had me in there as an operative. And they were going to pull me from there, U.S. military, as they will remember, that at some point in there, they were going to yank me. And I said, no, I'm going to stay and play this to the end. So while in the backyard, with a vast number of spirits there and other beings there, an observation thereof, in which I made a statement when, under duress there of the clairvoyant world and being harassed and more, okay, then I got really, really angry and said these words. I call upon Satan himself if you don't stop fucking with me. I'm so angry. Imagine. So Satan himself got word of it and came to listen. So in his observation there, of me in the backyard there, as I was doing with my candle there, with my deck of tar, doing a spread. And in there were some very, very interesting spreads. I'm sure you'll be able to find some of those in the brief history of mine out there. But one of them, of two, is where
Greetings, brother.
good morning, my friend.
You're happy with that thing on your head.
Yeah, thank you.
What is
Hold
that,
on. I'm going live. I'm on live. So can I talk to you later?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, in there is where I got my introduction to Satan himself. But a lot more than just Satan. As an ambassador, they came. They all came to see me there in the backyard. With my candle there, in the evening there, doing my spread of the deck of Thoth, I did one where in the center of the spread was the charioteer. So, with those spreads out there, and someday you'll find them, I will say now off the top of my head, I can't remember them exactly, but there, the high priestess of the universe came to see me there. And under the Satan himself was given a card. And that card, in a vision to me, came to me from the major arcana of the universe, the high priestess herself. She drew the charioteer. You never heard Satan laughed so fucking hard. As I, by that there, the high priestess and the rest of the major arcana, and the charioteer. The one man, the pilot, the helmsman, the navigator, that flies the whole universe out of collapse. This was some 10 years ago, when I was still living in 1265 Washington. Imagine. We're already on 12 minutes. Okay. So from there, they tried to pull me out. And there, I said no. And remained in. In which I went through a schooling by the Clairvoyant Universe. With each week a set of clairvoyants coming to teach me more and more about clairvoyance. And that went on for quite some time there. Okay. I then got into a, competition there with the very rich there, in which they came and said that I was not sufficient enough to provide that there for my love of my life, Jennifer, adequate being able to take care of her and her 3 children. And so I went into a competition there, and then, it got really ugly there with the clairvoyant world of all of the human race. In which I went out and beat their asses by the first one being there to get a job in Adobe at $135,000 a year. And they said, after 4 months, that was in July, and in September, the first one to make it gets the girl. They destroyed my job at Adobe after the first week, stating that I had a bomb in my television. I then went on to get a job at Agilent, and at $115,000 a year. But you must understand that I didn't work at Adobe for just 1 week. I'd worked there for several years, and there was a pullback in time, and they took all my work that I had done there at Adobe in configuration management. I went on again to do the same thing at Agilent, and they did a pullback in time, and I had there in Santa Rosa, an ordeal with the clairvoyant universe. From Kansas City. They all came here to destroy me, for they believed that I was Satan. So with that being said, they demanded I leave after a vast amount of them testing their clairvoyant wares upon me. After 3 years, there was a rollback in time, because he came and beat me to death in my hotel room. The one that wanted my Jennifer. It was from there 4,000 years had passed, where they found my body burned outside of that of the homestead. Carbon dated is 4,000 years old. It is from there I started the Chinese calendar to the present. So from there, I came back to San Francisco after being driven from my job back to here. And with a vast amount of fanfare, left my job to find that he had gone there and walked in and tried to be me, sitting down at my desk and tried to collect my $10,000 a month in pay by just sitting there, because I had been pulled back in time, and he was just going to sit there and take my money there and act as if he was the one who got the job. Over the next 3 years, of which I, at Agilent, using spectrum analyzers, made first contact with the sentience of our world here. With the use there of spectrum analyzers, I was able to make contact with the sentience of our world as well as outside of our world. Grand Master for the search of extraterrestrial intelligence. SETI is all my project. Only to find I found terrestrial intelligence first. Would you believe? So, as I go on with this broadcast, this is going to be part one of my history, a brief history there, to the present. So, since then, in that days there, I have been learning Kung Fu and doing a vast amount of other things. So I'm going to end this presentation here at 18 minutes. Start of a new aeon in the deck of time. Once again, my name is Douglas Stone. I am the infamous Dr. Hill.